Today I'm going to give you some battle tips in the Cove, but before we get into this too much, I'm going to freeze it right here and tell you that I was going for a more greedy build in this. I'm going to show you what happens when you don't bring in reliable stress heals to the Cove. So if you've been having issues in the Cove, maybe you haven't been bringing enough stress heals, and maybe this fights will remind you kind of why you've been struggling in the Cove. Because the Cove isn't an offensive threat most of the times, therefore usually you want to deal with stress. And I really don't take too much HP damage after this first fight. So I kind of show you what happens when you don't bring in stress. But if you don't bring in stress recovery, I'm also going to show you how you can kind of control and take care of those stress damage dealers before they make you reach an affliction status. Now, right here, we're going against a Fusilier and a Brigand. They pretty much do the same thing. And my party isn't really geared to get anyone out of stealth, which is an issue. Now, I'm fortunate that I did get that surprise because I'm going to be able to riposte. And even though I get the riposte, it's not exactly going to save my butt because there's going to be a lot of additional damage. Now what I'm doing here is I'm trying to kill two birds with one stone essentially, but I only get a 21 on that mark. It is on the lower side of damage, and that lower side of damage is actually going to set me up to take a lot of additional damage. Therefore that was pretty greedy. I could have just focus fired, but I do believe RNG was in my favor. And I knew I had riposte up, therefore I was thinking, you know what, I should be able to kill him, as I did right there. And as you can see, the Fusilier and Brigand do take some extra damage. Now this was a dodge, but I could have pretty much killed him off as well. Thus, I would have killed about 2 characters off right away. And almost this guy's another dodge. Once again, the accuracy wasn't the greatest. This was more of a ranged build highwayman, therefore the riposte wasn't exactly the strongest or the most accurate. But you still would have liked to see at least one more hit. There's a couple dodges in there that really hurt. And I do that double stun from the Plague Doctor to stop the next blanket fire and also to set up my next move. I also take the advantage to punch back the other guy because I know he's going to die out to the DOT tick. And then I get to my Highwayman again, and once again I'm going to riposte just to refresh that, just in case they do some more shrapnel blasts and all that. I can be ready for that situation. Obviously he ticks out to the DOT, and now we're down to 2. If I get to go before then, we're going to take out the Fusilier, as I do. And now we got one stunned individual, and I can kind of take this time just to blight him out and then slowly move towards HP recovery. Because now he's dead. I don't really need to hurt him. I'll do that. I'll pull him forward, come hither, just to, you know, do a little bit of damage. But I really don't want to kill him off straight because I want to get to that heal. As you can see, allowing myself to get that turn to heal really just reverse a lot of that damage, and if I can, I'm going to actively work towards getting one more heal, even if it's just for 5 to 10 HP. I'm not going to kill him. As you see, I try to stun him again. I blow up the body so he can't even shrapnel blast. I mean, he's dead, don't get me wrong, but in case he wasn't going to be dead, I'm going to remove those bodies so he can't shrapnel. I do get to my heal. It is only for 5. You would have liked to see more, but as you can see, I don't end that fight right away. I do some nice damage recovery because I go, you know what? That fight was just not in my favor. I need to take care of that physical damage I took because the Occultist isn't great at AoE heals and also isn't the greatest at reliable heals when you don't put some additional healing trinkets on him. Now this fight's scary. All 3 of these individuals are mass stress damage dealers, but we really just got to decide which one we want to target first. As you can see below, you can really see me struggling which I want to do here. Do I want to stab? Do I want to mark? And eventually I'm going to mark because I'm going to trust the bounty hunter to one-shot this guy. And if he doesn't, once again, it's another big issue. But I really don't want to stab because it's going to take 2 attacks anyways. And a mark should be a guaranteed thing because if I do a stab, it's on the lower end damage. Who knows, it may not kill him exactly. I try to get a double stun on the SQuiDZ and the Ghoul. And the reason why I riposte to blow the Thrall is just to make sure. I know I probably should have just had the bounty hunter, but the Thrall living would have been absolute worst case scenario, and I probably wouldn't have done a lot of damage to the Ghoul if I would have done riposte anyway, so I kind of ignore him and I make sure my high priority target of the Thrall dies. Now the problem is we do have a SQuiDZ and a Ghoul left who are both going to be able to do the horror ability, which you'll see activated in this fight right here. Now if you don't bring in good stress recovery people or stress healers like I did in this party, you're going to have to bring in laudanums in your provisions, which I do have 6 of and I will be using later in this video. Now what I'm trying to do is essentially set up and get rid of the Ghoul or the SQuiDZ. And the reason why I didn't do it on the SQuiDZ is I think I can get him killed in 2 shots, and I'm priming the ghoul to die around the same time. I should have maybe have stacked both of it on the SQuiDZ just to get rid of him quicker, but I also do want to work down the ghoul because it has some pretty good abilities that do stress damage and all that, and I do believe I can kill off the SQuiDZ relatively soon with my build. I'm not getting the damage or the criticals I want, and that is slowly starting to hurt me because I'm allowing these individuals alive longer, and I'm really at this point just trying to focus fire at the ghast, but they are going before me, and there's that howl you see. So now I got a lot of stress damage stacked on top of me, and I need to start using these laudanums. But we're still focus firing the SQuiDZ, and as you can see I finally killed him. Now we're going to switch gears. Now we're going to try to probably stun up the ghoul here. We're going to try to do some HP recovery because once again got hurt pretty bad. But we need to make sure that the ghoul doesn't go again, and that 5 HP really wasn't a lot. And this is what I mean by, you might want to bring in something like a Houndmaster, Crusader, or Jester so you can take these, targeted stress heals, or at least reliable stress heals. And right there's that stun, right there's that critical damage, and now I've primed him up with a couple of DOT ticks as well. He will be dying out. Looking back on the Bounty Hunter, not using an ability that damages more while stunned could have been an option. However, looking back, maybe I was thinking, I don't want to kill him outright, so I actually want to get to this heal that's coming up. So as you see, there's a 22 heal right there, dies out to the DOT. I mean, he was dead anyways, so it worked out in my favor that I didn't. I can't recall my exact mindset there, but I can definitely see going back now if I thought, I don't want to kill him outright because I want to get to a heal. Perfect play right there. This fight's fairly easy. Rather squishy individuals, rather low speed individuals, therefore I can really set up the Eldritch. The thralls count as Eldritch, thus more bonus damage is going to be coming. So I'm not going to use my Mark build because they don't have the HP, and they're also, as I said, Eldritch, which means they took more damage. I'm going to set up the kill on the maggot here because I know my Bounty Hunter is going to get to finish off this thrall, and then the maggot's going to go and they're going to die. Easy fight. Sometimes you get these. You can look at the speeds, the HP of the individuals, the types, and you can really just kind of set up your party as you need to based on all of those different factors. Starting this fight, once again, we got a ghoul and another thrall. Therefore, we're really going to be looking to take down the thrall and as little turns as possible while still controlling up the ghoul. So the ghoul's really going to be a target that we want to definitely kill second, but we also want to control him first because I just used my laudanums and I really don't want to take more stress damage, as you can see with the 60 on the Plague Doctor. This is what happens when you really don't take in an individual that can heal well. Now with moving the thrall to the back, I will take an opportunity to hit the ghoul, and the reason why I didn't use that damage when stun ability again is because you actually get more damage off the mark on collect the bounty than you do on the other ability. Therefore I was trying to maximize my damage here because I do want the ghoul dead relatively quickly. And I was really hoping here that on the occultist I could use the sacrificial dagger to kill off the thrall. Sadly we leave him with 1 HP, and then I have that audible into a grape shot to still do damage to the ghoul, but also to kill the thrall. If that would have been more perfect, what I would have done is just pistol shotted the ghoul, had the thrall dead already. That would have given me a higher damage chance and critical and all of that. Now I still would have gotten hit with that skull toss, and everything else would have been the same, but I would have been a little bit more ahead on a stress reduction on my highwaymen probably, and damage on the ghoul. But here we are, and once again we really need to try to control him again. I do get another stun because I have a stun trinket on, and then we just need to focus on killing him but also healing. And as you all know, if you play this game, the occultist isn't exactly the most reliable for heals, but we start getting some mark damage coming in, and we are going to lose that mark now, but I have done essentially enough damage that I'm in range just to finish him with a highwayman. And now we're down to the plated maggot. This is pretty easy. We'll probably control it up a little bit, try to get to one more heal. There's really no way to stress heal, but if I did have a stress healer, you would definitely want to control this armored maggot for at least a turn or two and get at least 2 either inspiring tunes, cries, cry havocs, whatever have you, to make sure that you reduce some of this stress damage that's happened to the Plague Doctor specifically, because she's hurting pretty bad right now. The slow death. We don't have a surprise here, so we're going to have to start thinking about who we want to mark. Once again, we want to get rid of the thrall in one turn, because I can double stun the back row of the Plague Doctor, as you saw, because one individual was not invisible, which will set me up for that double stun and to stop that. Now we can focus on the damage dealer of the Piranha, almost killing him, setting him up for the next round, and then of course the extra damage from the collected bounty is coming in. And now they're all in range for Grape Shot Blast. And the reason why that is significant is this guy could have protected, but I could have still hurt anyone he would have protected. Therefore, the offensive skill was probably the best situation for him, because I still would have done some really disgusting damage with it. Now I need to decide who I want to play Grenade, and I take the champion because he's got the most HP, and he didn't protect the Tidemaster, which means I can set up the Sacrificial Dagger into Grape Shot, destroying positions 2 and 3, and setting up on the Pelagic Champion now, who is now already DOTing. It's the perfect setup. I get that nice critical, and now I'm essentially one turn away from cleaning this fight up in about 3 rounds. The critical on me hurts, the bleed hurts, the stress hurts. That was really unfortunate I took that, but these are things that are going to happen to you, and you need to learn how to take care of those. I do have bandages. I am going to wait till I get to the Occultist so I can try to get a decent heal on him, because 15 damage is a good amount. I haven't really been too worried about HP, as I said about in the beginning of this video. You do need to be wary though, because obviously every dungeon can kill you, and another critical really could put me in a bad spot, but the DOT has finally taken its toll on the Pelagic Champion and he ticks out. I do get a bandage back. I don't really take it because I have 3 bandages left, and I'm pretty confident at this point I could have ended the dungeon, but I decided to continue on, and I felt confident 3 bandages were enough. If you're playing if you're just playing the game, or even if you're a very veteran at the game, just take the bandage. I'm not sure why I didn't. Looking back on it, I was probably just moving too quickly and maybe thought I clicked on it. Once again, I'm going to take this high risk for medium reward, get another 8 stress off. I do have her down below 50 now, and I could have ended the dungeon with her sub 50, but we're going to continue, and obviously we face a Madman here. Now, I'm fortunate to go first with the Madman. I thought about stabbing him, but I was thinking, you know what, the mark has higher accuracy and decreases the dodge. Therefore, we're really going to set up other individuals to finish him off. A double stun really secures that back line. And then what we're going to actually do is we're not going to, since we can't hit him, we're going to punch him forward, because we're going to make that brawler A, stunned, and then B, make him stumbling scratch. And then we're going to do a direct fire on the Madman. Once again, 1 HP. That's so sad, but I really had the damage set up, and now I can finish him with a Grape Shot next turn, need be. I don't even care about that Barnacle Barrier, because once again I'll be able to hit him with the Grape Shot Blast, so it's like nothing ever really happened except for the Pelagic Champion taking essentially no damage. But that's okay, because the Pelagic Champion is always targeted last. However, I am going to punch it just to get the guard off of the Piranha, who's the last main damage dealer, because the guy in the back's going to have to stumbling scratch, which essentially does no damage. And once again, I leave that beautiful 1 HP alive. If I would have gotten some different RNG, these fights would have been slightly different, but we have to take the 1 HPs as we get them, because they are part of the game. I then play Grenade the back rows to start setting up on that Pelagic Champion's eventual tick down. I'm going to Grape Shot just to kill the one and then hurt the Cultist Brawler. I'm then going to stab the Cultist Brawler because he will tick out. And then I'm going to, once again I'm going to play Grenade, setting that DOT up. And I'm going to use the Come Hither ability just to try to pull him forward so he's in range for my other skills. The Brawler will die out in the back, and we now have him exactly where we want him for future pistol shots, anything. The Occultist, I mean, he's now in the position that we definitely want him to be in. We don't want to clear any bodies, because if we clear the bodies, that means I can't shoot him with the Highwaymen, which is definitely my stronger ability. I should have shot there despite me slicing. That was not me trying to keep him alive. I was trying to kill him. But it's okay, I do get to a heal because of that. Maybe it was a happy accident, maybe I was actually planning on that. Tough to say going back, but if I was aiming just to kill, I definitely should have used pistol shot, but it did allow me 1 heal, which is a very good situation. And now we're coming up onto our last fight here, and we face another SQuiDZ and a Cultist Witch. Once again, no surprise. Therefore, we're really going to have to work efficiently in taking care of these stress damage dealers. I picked the Witch because she has the lower HP and is more susceptible to getting one-shotted. As you saw right there, exactly the damage we needed. The SQuiDZ would still be alive if we marked him, and the Cultist Witch would have been alive. That's too much. I'm going to clear the body and try to stun. I only get a shuffle, which actually kind of hurts. because now he got the off-kilter jig right away and I no longer have any of my laudanums. So that's really not something good, and now we have to focus the champion. Excellent critical, came in the clutch here, and now most likely the SQuiDZ is going to get protected, as he does, because that's usually the move the Pelagic champions do. Now I have to take a turn to unguard that, which is okay, because my Plague Doctor does get to go. And now he's stunned, and the SQuiDZ is available. Maddening Chanting will be used. Now we're going to have to just mark and burst fire down the SQuiDZ, because this is going to be my last fight, and now I need to do stress damage control. So I'm just going to use my Wicked Slice, even though it's not my strongest ability in a range build. And now I'm going to mark him. It is a dodge. That's actually a rather significant dodge, because my Bounty Hunter went next. That could have easily been a critical, or at least mass amount of damage to end that. Because even if I would have done a lot of damage, I could have set up for that next attack. Now I got my critical there, but it would have been much more efficient if I got that mark off. But I was fortunate, as I said, to get that. Nice critical to reduce some stress on her, because she is taking a decent amount per turn. And now we're just going to go through the motions of just throwing everything we got immediately at the Pelagic champion. The more turns I take, the more stress I get, and I don't care about HP at this point, because it's just not going to matter. I know this champion's not going to kill me, I just need this fight to end, so therefore we're just going to keep doing our Noxious Gas, our Wicked Slices, our Collected Bounties, until this Pelagic champion dies relatively quickly, and just need a couple of more damage and he'll tick out. I hope this video was helpful. You can see what happens when you go into the Cove without significant stress heals. I have two individuals that are relatively high, two in the middle that aren't. That was probably due to focus and also critical chance. The Highwaymen are very good at damage and killing, so they have that natural way to kill off enemies and reduce their stress that way. But as you can see, you can survive a champion level dungeon without having the best stress heals. Thank you for watching. Check out my other video on the ruins and maybe how you can handle bone bears. Like and subscribe below.